Hi, all. This is Dr. J, streaming live from Long Island, New York, along with Professor Spike, also from Long Island, New York. Arjun was on the coast today, right, Arjun? Which coast are you on?
The West,
The
the
West.
West Coast.
The West is the best.
Somewhere in the Northwest.
Yeah, today, Oakland, driving up to Sonoma, California in 3 hours.
A little south of where you were on Tuesday.
Gotta take your face mask with you.
Today it looks good. Tomorrow, who knows?
Right.
Yeah. So we had an interesting show on Tuesday. We talked about our top three. We each gave top three takeover prospects. So far in the week, I think they're pretty much all down along with everything else. So I think the only, with any of our prospects that actually went north, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I mean, today XBI rebalances. So I don't know if that has anything to do with some.
Aurenia sold off a little, which is most of our top picks, except for Professor Spike.
Mm-hmm.
Like Steve Biv is his top takeover candidate. And Mankind, I think, was my fourth pick, and that I think is slightly down. They're all slightly down, I believe.
The word we use is anemic.
Yeah, the market has been less than stellar. Down today significantly. I think we should get right to it, because we have a lot of stocks to look at. But today's theme is biotech selling for under $10. That could double over the next, let's say, by the end of the year into that first half of next year.
Yeah.
We got to remind ourselves that it's September already.
All right, so
We're getting into fourth quarter soon.
Looking at a 1 year time horizon, I think we have 10 good ones to look at. I think the first one on my list is ACIU, which we did talk about not too long ago. It's an Alzheimer's drug, as you recall, that had very good news regarding cognitive improvement, but not so good news in terms of functionality. That was a dilemma for them, and their primary endpoint required both. And they're partners with Roche, which is a definite positive. So let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the chart and see if we can glean anything from that. Meanwhile, viewers are starting to file in. We'll get back to them.
What's the risk on Albo? The risk on Albo is the same as all drugs that have just hit the market. They don't sell enough. I think that's the number one thing. I'm not worried about competition yet because MIRM is not going to hit market for a while for PFIC, but yeah, the risk is sales being low. But I don't think it'll happen, but it's always a risk.
You're talking to Rego Marco, who's asking that question all the way from Switzerland.
Switzerland, very nice. I've been there once. Lauterbrunnen was one of my favorite cities. Beautiful.
All right, Yahoo Finance. Get right into ACIU. Let's look at the overall markets first. At the beginning of the week, Professor Omar was skeptical about this week's performance. He was calling for 4,300 on the S&P. Not quite there, Professor Omar, but you're in the right direction, I guess.
Right.
The Dow is down 90 or 0.55%. The NASDAQ is the big one, down about 1%, 15,036, off 145 points. The Russell at this hour is down 6.25 or 0.28%. That is the least of the downward indices. Indices are all down, the Russell down the least, and the NASDAQ down the most, which is a little peculiar, but I think that's a little peculiar, not that typical.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
A lot of key options are expiring today. There could be some stuff going on there.
Some watching.
Also, the Fed, I think there's nervousness ahead of the Fed meeting. I'm not quite sure why, because inflation was rather tame, right? The numbers came in very tame on inflation. So, where's the nervousness ahead of the Fed meeting? I don't see it. But
it could be a fake out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at ACIU. I'm not sure if that's the reason the market is selling off anyway. JP Morgan, head of equities at JP Morgan, who was negative months ago, as you recall, I relayed that to you.
Yeah.
He is now more negative, saying, quote, at any time, you should expect a 10% correction in the market. This time, look for as much as a 20% correction in the market. So he's kind of negative. And when they're saying that, 20%, you know what they really mean.
Look out.
When they say 20, they really mean 30, 40.
Yeah.
He's very negative, that fellow.
Yeah, when they say 20, they're trying not to spook you.
Exactly. They're basically calling for a March 2020 all over again.
Well,
yeah, I think when he's saying 20, he means 40. Because let's face it, JP Morgan is not going to come out and say 40% correction.
No, that would be
they say it, they'll cause it.
They would fire the dude immediately.
Right.
Exactly. It's one of those things, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy sometimes. There's no reason. It just happens.
I don't even think that. It's just
in those situations, the best thing to do is just shut them.
They don't want to spook their clients totally, you know?
Of course.
Right. But just
they want to be a
really
little
sell
bit
their portfolios.
So my feeling is if he's calling for as much as 20%, he means as much as 40%. In his heart.
Haven't we been hearing Chicken Littles all summer?
Yeah, that's true.
But, you know, I mean, yeah, certainly I would be silly not to be prepared for some sort of downturn, especially since historically this
at any time the market could sell off 10% for no reason at any time.
Yeah.
Essentially at any time. So this time he's saying 20%.
Yeah.
And I would know the difference in my portfolio. How? I mean, my portfolio is mostly red as it is.
All right, so this is the top one on our list of 10 under 10.
Right. 10 under 10, that's cute.
It's an Alzheimer's drug. And AC Immune is partnering with Roche, as I said before. And they have results that did not meet the primary endpoints because the primary endpoint was certain percentage increase in cognitive abilities and functionality. It met the test for cognitive gain, but not for functionality. So it had sold off. And then it rallied on some kind of rumor or who knows what. It rallied on 831 to as high as 13, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then it sold off that very same day right back down to where it started from.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's at 681. I think we have a decent rounded bottom forming here. So from the chart, it looks to me like we may have put in a bottom at 665.
Yeah.
And I own this one in full disclosure. Apt to add at any time or sell. But at this point, I'd be more inclined to add than to sell. This is one of my top 10 under 10. I think it could turn itself around. I like the strong partner with Roche. I like the AD drugs in general. And, it's wide open between Sava and Ovis, ACIU, three companies that have all had recent disappointments. One of those three could easily turn it around, or maybe more than one.
Yeah.
So I think they're all interesting.
Yeah. The chart's good enough to nibble. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go crazy. These really, my thinking is double within the next 8 to 12 months.
Right.
So we have another quarter left. We didn't even enter the fourth quarter of 21. I would say by the third quarter of next year, this is a good candidate to be selling at $14 a share or $13. Let's make it interesting. 1261, the exact high from 831. I think it will retest that high.
Yeah, that's usually how these things work.
Yeah, within a certain period of time. Okay, let's go on to the second one, which is
AEMD.
AEMD.
Oh, I like this one. Yeah.
We looked at this. It wasn't one of our takeover candidates, but someone asked
Right.
for us to short it on Tuesday, so we did. And since Tuesday, how are we doing? I don't know. Probably down.
Pretty flat. I like this one though.
The chart wouldn't jump around so much.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, Verizon likes to load and reload on me. It's clearly been trying to put in a bottom here.
Yeah, that's why I like it. I don't see much downside from here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cash on hand, enough cash on hand.
Exactly.
To carry out its feasibility study or phase one, whatever you want to call it, for COVID, along with its phase one for head and neck cancer. I think there are partners with, could it be your hometown, Pittsburgh? Might be.
UPMC or something. Yeah, it might be.
I think that's what it was. So yeah, so they're partners with one of the big university medical centers. On the exosome treatment for head and neck cancer. It's funny that that's the indication that they're going for first, when that's what CVM went for, head and neck cancer. And there's been no new drug approved like in 40 years for head and neck cancer. So it's an interesting one that's the one they chose.
Well, if this is a device, how are they supposed to take care of head and neck cancer?
They filter out the exosomes.
Right.
And then they're also using, I think, Keytruda.
Oh, okay.
For the trial design. So effectively.
Yeah, no, something like that makes a lot of sense then, right? You take out some of the offending material, and then another medicine will probably be more effective. That's actually very bright.
That's the idea, I guess, to prove the effectiveness of immunotherapy.
Yeah, immunotherapeutics, yeah. Less invasive.
And like Professor Spike said, to a layman like me and to a layman like you guys, we're not medical doctors. It certainly does make sense. And, I suppose it makes sense to medical professionals that it wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
Well,
I think in terms of just patient quality of life, these types of new designs are just very advantageous in that way.
If they weren't so expensive.
Yeah, I mean, when I spoke to Timothy Rodell, former CEO before Fisher, about 6 months ago, we chatted on the show. He was more inclined and more excited about the exosome trial than he was even about the COVID trial.
Right.
But it's the COVID trial that will make this swing jump.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what made it jump the last time.
That's what made it jump a few times, yeah. And that's what made it jump way back when with Ebola, when it had success treating a doctor from America who went to Africa and got sick. And they treated him, I think, in Germany, in Frankfurt Hospital, if I remember correctly. I may not have all my facts 100% straight, but it was something like that. And
I think I'm gonna add this one after the show.
it's interesting. It's like a Star Trek device. I like these gizmos.
Yeah.
That you clean out your blood. Whatever's wrong with you, it's in the blood. Clean out the blood, remove the viral load, then treat the COVID. Clean out the blood, remove the exosome garbage, then treat the cancer.
Yeah.
And it's also, I think they're working on HIV as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, reduce the viral load and then slam it with the antivirals.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of nice touches on this potential bottom. I like it.
Yeah, I like the chart. I like the concept. I know it's a little far out. It's different. And just because it's different doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah. You could even swing this for a 20%, or it looks like whatever the top of that green candle is from late August.
Yeah, let's take a look. It was.
Yeah, that's a nice move.
When I bought it.
I had recommended it that I back here at about 340.
So same thing, basically. Yeah.
Was in it for that pop to 429. I took a little off the table, but I'm still in it. And again, like ACIU, I may very well add to my position, but there's also a possibility I could sell something.
Yeah.
Just because I'm including it in my 10 best under 10 doesn't mean that I'm committed to it for life.
Yeah. This seems like a great swing. Yeah.
Maybe you look to swing some of it and look to keep some of it.
Yep. Especially if the timeline is far off, you can swing it around until.
Well, everything is phase one, but when it comes to COVID, it doesn't matter because it get EUA in a heartbeat.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. Even though it's feasibility, if that feasibility study, which I think is for 20 patients, if it cures 15 out of 20 that are on ventilators, then I think you'll see EUA.
Sure. That makes sense to me.
Professor Spike, you like this?
I'm still in it. I'm not getting out. I may even think about averaging down a little.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do it. Buy some later.
We're all agreed about this one having prospects.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, okay, great. What's the next one on my list, Professor Spike?
The next one is Athersis, one of our faves.
This one is a heartbreaker.
I've still never owned this. I've just heard about it forever.
Pete and I have suffered through a lot of.
But Jiggy's going to make fun of us for doing it again.
A lot of years of owning this stock. Seeing it get to 4. When it got to 4, I felt like a rich man. I should have just unloaded everything.
Yeah, no, right.
I would have been a wealthy man, but I was too damn greedy.
Right. They call that a mop, a millionaire on paper.
Yes. So we're back down to retesting the lows on this one.
Yeah.
Hard to believe. It was just the other day that we were up here at $1.81, 9.2. And that day I remarked about it on the show. I just wanted to show that it was moving. And even Professor Omar said this is the first time Athersis shows some real life. And as soon as he said that, it collapsed.
Yeah. It was good. It was good for a day or two, right?
Not that it's Professor Omar's fault. It's just
No, certainly not.
it's just the yo-yo stock. And
Like Jiggy says, data any day and any day. Tomorrow, mañana y mañana.
this one has been waiting for Godot for a long time. You
All right,
know,
I'll add this if it gets to 135. How about that?
yeah,
How much?
well, the thing with this one is the last patient dosed by in the treasure trial in Japan happened like the beginning of August. Remember last time I looked at it back here, I wasn't even aware. I said it might have happened. I'm not following the fundamentals. I wasn't sure it happened. I surmised that it happened, might have happened because of the run-up. And that's what caused the run-up, I guess. So I think it ran from the beginning of August, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, pretty much. So it ran on that news, last patient dose. And I don't know when we're going to get interim results, after 3 months, after 6 months, whatever. We're going to get some kind of results. They're going to follow these patients for up to a year, I think, and report on progress after 3 months, 6 months, a year, and figure out if it's as good or better treatment option than the existing one, which is the clot busting drug. I always forget the initials, beginning with a T. Three letters, T, whatever it is. There's too many acronyms, too many letters, too many drugs. I don't remember them all, but there's only one drug that they give for stroke, and you got to give it in a 4-hour window, essentially. At the most, a 1-day window. This they're giving it trials for in a 36-hour window. It should be good because they had a phase 2 with their previous Japanese partner, Chugai, which is Roche.
Is it TPA, that like clot
Yes,
busting thing? Yeah.
Thank you, TPA. I should remember that, but it's too much like TSA, so I get confused.
Yeah, please remove your belt and your shoes.
Yes. So TPA, yes, that's the only drug that's used, and it's been in use for a very long time. So this would be an alternative drug, one that makes sense if somebody didn't get to the hospital in time to take the TPA. So all it has to do is be as good as, or close to as good as TPA to be viable, and better than TPA after like 1 day.
Right.
Where I see it being really valuable is between 24 hours and 36 hours, because after 24 hours you have virtually no benefit from TPA. So if you can get benefit from this, I think that would be great.
Interesting.
Stroke is a massive marketplace. So
sure.
The odds trial and all of that, there's a million kind of competitors all working on stem cells for odds. It doesn't turn me on, but I know that that's a viable program as well for Athersis. So, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they're going to turn out to be the winner in the odds race. Not necessarily COVID odds, but odds in general.
Right.
Which would include COVID odds. So is this a good one to be in? And I think it is. I think you should own a little of this. I own not as much as I used to, and
right.
I plan on accumulating more as we get closer to that. Let's say the end of the year, somewhere around that timeline, and I'll be watching it, carefully. So this is not necessarily in order. I'm not saying it's my third best 10 under 10, but it's one of the 10 under 10s that I happen to own. I own the first three. And I do like this one, despite the agita that it's been giving me.
Yep. I'll buy it at 135. No more. No more than that.
Look, it could also collapse to $1 again. There's no telling on this one. But again, I personally like it. That's why I'm in it. So again, my opinions are strictly my own and do not constitute investment advice. Do your own due diligence. Check with an advisor before acting. Same goes to Arjun and Professor Spike and all of our viewers and all of our chat group people. Our opinions all collectively are strictly our own. And if you like the show, please slam that subscribe button. Where is it? Slam it.
Slam
Well,
it.
what about the thumbs up? You can give it a couple of thumbs up or one.
That's always a nice ego boost.
But you can't give more than one, right?
You can make multiple accounts, burner accounts.
Hey,
what do people do if they really, really like the show? They write comments. I really, really like the show.
Yeah, well, we're getting good comments on the side today, so
yeah.
We get a lot of that.
Some of it even about the stocks instead of football.
Yeah, Jiggly's Bills couldn't handle my Steelers. Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, it's early in the season.
I'm just messing.
And Dr. Omo, Professor Omo is thinking that maybe what we're going through is sufficient enough bloodletting that the big crash, that his Dr. Doom crash might not happen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
He's sort of softening on that prognostication.
Yeah, he said he thinks the market's bottoming.
No more S&P 4300, Professor Omo. All right. Anyway.
He'll chime in a minute.
Yeah.
The next one is CTIC.
Yes, another one that I happen to own and like. I mean, I'm not discussing ones I don't like.
Oh.
Let's put it to you that way.
I think that's fair. We're not here to short. We're here to buy.
If you hired me to be a cheerleader, you got the wrong person.
Look, at least this one is going in the right direction. From 7.19, it was 2.21. Now we're at $3.
Yeah,
it's nearly a 50% move. I think it completed a 50% move when it was 3.15 the other day.
Seems like it's correcting now, though.
It's correcting a little, along with the rest of the market, right?
Yeah, let's see if that bottom will hold. That'll be interesting.
I haven't been drawing too many lines or looking too much at the charts. Talking a little bit in general about these things, but this one you can see has solid support here at 298.
Yeah.
So this is a good place to buy, even if you're interested in the short-term swing back to the 315 level.
Yep. Nibble.
5% here might happen quick.
Maybe
They have
PDUFA.
It's a PDUFA play,
Could be a cup and handle forming. I don't know about the longer term, but
well, it's a PDUFA play into the end of November. They have a drug for I forget myelofibrosis.
Got it. So basically, sell it the week before PDUFA.
or the pre-market.
Yeah, these PDUFAs, I'm so scared of holding them into approval.
I know, right?
I do like its chances for approval, but even so,
it's like owning a SPAC after the merger.
Even when it gets approved, it goes down. So what's the difference?
Right, exactly.
Yep. You play the run up. If there's no run up, get out. If there is a run up, get out. Just get out.
Notice how nicely we're consolidating off the top of 3 1/4 them. So
if that line of yours holds,
just draw this triangle and yeah.
I'm pretty sure the only PDUFA I ever actually saw go up in the last year was BCRX.
Right. But that was only for like a week.
Most of them
Yeah.
sell off, except if it was unexpected, like Biogen, where it zoomed up after PDUFA, because it was totally expected.
Right. The midday halts are key. Yeah.
If a drug is totally expected to fail, like there's a negative adcom or something, and it gets approved, then it flies.
Of course. Yep. Yep.
But short of that, mostly goes down. I agree.
Yeah. I think the money to be made is on good phase 2 and good phase 3 data.
So this is also a triple play CTI. They have the what is it, Professor Spike? Host versus graft?
No, the other way around.
Graft versus host
Right.
disease, and they also have a COVID play. So they have three things. Triple play. And the name of their drug is pacritinib, which is a JAK2 inhibitor. I think it's a JAK2. Similar to the Incyte drug, the only drug approved for MF is by Incyte Pharmaceuticals, which is a JAK1, JAK2 inhibitor. And this one is supposed to be better for some reason or another. I guess they're comparing it between this and the Incyte drug. I think it'll get approved. That's my thinking. Probably get a nice run before PDUFA. So this one, will it fit the category of double within the next year? I think so. Even if it runs to 5 now, pulls back, I think it could still run up to, $6 easily. So I kind of like this one, and I think it deserves to be in the top 10 under 10. So that was, what is that, number 4 on the list?
Yeah, number 4.
Yes.
What's number 5?
Capricorn.
This one we talked about. It was a request the other day. I think I don't remember who requested it. But,
I know someone who's in huge here. I still need to research it though.
I like the DMD drug. They're in quite a few things, but the DMD, Duchenne muscular dystrophy drug, I think shows a lot of promise off the phase 2 data. They're still trying to get a partner for it. If they succeed in getting a partner to fund their phase 3, I think this will be a double overnight. It's a very thin float, low market cap. Could you check that market cap, Aja?
Yeah. This is a very low cap.
Should be. I'm going to guess 300 million.
No, only 110.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
On that alone, it's very enticing.
It is enticing. This one definitely. I mean, when you're looking at a market cap that low, if they get a partner announcement.
Oh yeah.
For their phase 3 on Duchenne muscular dystrophy, it should double.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even if you get 100 million cash infusion, that's literally double. Yeah.
So this one might be the first to double of all the ones that we talked about. Potentially, some good news has to happen for it to double.
Yep.
The most likely good news would be the partnership for DMD. I mean,
some very nice candles recently.
The only company I know of that's really made a living, so to speak, on DMD is Sarepta Pharmaceuticals, SRPT. And that one went from the old AbbVie Pharmaceuticals, AVII. It changed its ticker. It was selling at about $2-3 a share. Now it's selling, I don't know what, like $80. I haven't looked at it in years, so I really don't know. But it's a considerable amount of money with a high market cap. SRPT. You could just take a quick look on your phone, maybe, Just let me know what that's selling for.
Which one?
SRPT, Sarepta Pharmaceuticals. That's they have the DMD.
They're at 84 right now.
Yeah, 84. So I was close. Yeah, I was close. So I think DMD, there's a big need for this, big need for new therapies in DMD. So if this thing gets funded, phase 3 happens, it will fly. So this is number 5 out of 10. And I think we talked about it on Tuesday when it was about the same price, right? It was 473, 475, around the same price. So this one actually went down we talked about it Tuesday. Wednesday went down. Yesterday it bounced back, and today it's trying to bounce back some more.
Right.
What's number 6 of 6?
LCTX.
Another very interesting stem cell company.
This one rings a bell. Oh, yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah.
No, rings a bell. First of all, we've talked about it. But it also, if you follow Geron for a long time, you'll know that they sold all their intellectual property on stem cells to this company, Linear Cell Therapeutics. So Geron was the first to clone an animal. They cloned Dolly the sheep, remember?
Yep, Dolly the lamb.
Or lamb, whatever it was. Yeah. So they have a huge stem cell intellectual property from Geron, and they're into a few potential cures. One for macular degeneration, which is, I think, they're furthest along in that. And I think they might have an approved drug for spinal column. I'm not sure if it's approved, but they're working on spinal cord injuries. So that's an interesting one. Of all the stem cell companies outside of Athersis, I probably like this one the best. So this is interesting. Where can it go? If the sky's the limit if their trials work out. But over the next year, it could easily be a double. Again, probably a low market cap stock. Probably not as low as Capricorn, but easily can go to $5. So the recent low was 226. And is it tradable now? Yeah, it's tradable now if you want to. But I think it's the kind of stock that you should trade. All of these, in my opinion, it's the kind of stock that you should be looking to make a double on.
Yeah.
A little.
Looks like you have that halfway of that green candle.
Right.
Isn't that amazing how it always seems to gravitate back to halfway?
But I mean, then it looks like it might be a swing play.
Yeah.
That's
you
true.
could swing that up real easily to the high twos.
260 at any rate.
Yep. And then maybe you can get a little higher to 280 if you're lucky. Yeah.
You might be. Well, you gotta get past the 100. That's the problem.
Yeah, you trim there. Take your 10%. Yeah.
260 looks reasonable.
Okay. I might buy some of this too, just a little.
Yeah, this is an interesting company. And they loaded up with intellectual property.
Yeah. What's next?
I don't know.
GNPX. I never heard of that one.
Interested me because of the genetic editing, whatever they do for diabetes. It's a genetic approach to curing diabetes. I'm not sure of the science. But the word cure, you don't hear that too often, do you?
Do not.
Yeah, you do not. So that kind of interests me when I hear that word cure. And this one, for whatever it's worth, came up from the pennies, from below $1. and traded at much higher than this 267 at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pulled back to what might be more reasonable levels to enter. I think that they have about 3 different programs, clinical programs, clinical trials. But the one that interests me the most is the diabetes one.
Right. You might get one more touch of that bottom in like the 252, 253, and then that might be a really strong entry.
I like 258 area for entry.
Yeah, there you go. Anything around there seems pretty safe. Yeah.
And again, if you want to swing it as opposed to hold it, the 330 area.
It's a nice gain. Yeah.
Not a bad gain, 260 to 330. Very nice.
Nice.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is a swingable trade as well as a long-term hold.
Yeah. What I like, a lot of the ones we're looking at seem to be at the lower end of whatever channel they're in.
Right. And all with good prospects. All with good fundamental prospects.
Right.
What's the next one?
The next one is HGen.
HGen is the one that recently collapsed on me with their luzilimab, whatever that drug is. Apparently, the data that they reported to the FDA was not good enough for emergency use authorization for COVID, sick COVID patients. So they're waiting on a more complete set of data. When they get that, they're going to resubmit. And I have a feeling it will be good enough at that point, the EUA. So I'm making a bet that this thing will turn around and come right back up to that $17 area based on better data ahead. So they shot a very limited set of data. They went forward with that. That was not good enough, but there's still another shot at the goal. And I'm betting on that shot of the goal because at this point, what if, I mean,
you have very little to lose, it seems. Yeah.
You got a lot to gain and $6 to lose potentially, but you can certainly go up to 18. So you're looking at a 2-to-1 shot, right? I think the odds are even money for a 2-to-1 shot.
Okay.
That's how I see this one. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit different than the others where I view it as more solid fundamentally. This one is more of a gambling play, but I like it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more of a gambling play.
Yeah, at least you're honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, it could go to 0, but I think it's got a good shot to go to 18.
Yeah.
And I think they have a partner as well. I don't recall who it is. All right. What's the number? What number was this?
That was number 8.
7? Oh, 8. Wow, nice.
What's number 9?
Number 9 is Vaxhart.
We looked at this on Tuesday. This is the one that will change the landscape. I tweeted out that this one has the potential to be to the COVID vaccines what the Sabin vaccine was to the Salk. And the Sabin, you recall, was just like a cube of sugar or something that you ate. I think. I took the Salk vaccine, so I don't remember. But I believe that's what it was. Do you know the Sabin at all, Professor Spike?
Excuse me?
Are you familiar with the Sabin vaccine for polio?
As opposed to the Salk one?
Yeah, the Salk was an injection, and the Sabin was a cube of sugar, I think.
Right, that's right. Yeah, well, that's a little bit before my time.
Yeah, this is news to me. I just learned something.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing some old.
I lived through it. I got a big purple lollipop for getting the Salk vaccine when I was about 5 years old. So you can figure out my age from that, I guess.
Yeah, no, mine was in the cocktail. by the time I got it.
We're exactly on trend. Look at this.
Very nice. This
Exactly.
looks like a screaming buy.
I think I might buy a little more of this one. I own it. There hasn't been one that I don't own yet. I think every one of these. Yeah, I own HGen. Oh yeah, LCTX I no longer own. I might get that. That's the only one. Maybe that's the key. That's the one people should buy, the one that I don't own. All right, Vaxhart, I like based on fundamentals. I like it based on technicals. What else is there to like it on?
VBIV.
All right, is that our last but not least?
That's the last of your 10, yes.
We're going to also look at two hot ones today, Corvus and IPHA.
Yep.
And people have been mentioning PROG as well, but that's
okay. Sure.
And then if we want to remind people about the best chart, USEG at the end.
You've been rattling the teacups. You've been forgetting about
wow. That chart is so beautiful. I want to frame it, put it up on the wall.
Let me repeat. Even though this is number 10 of 10, it doesn't mean it's our 10th best. It might mean it's not in order.
Number one for me.
That's right.
Right. It may be number one for us as opposed to number 10, just because we're talking about it last doesn't mean it's the worst. The market cap on this is how many million? 900?
It's under one. Yeah, 900 million-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So recently we're in a little bit of a downturn, but it had a nice swing up. And we all know about its COVID vaccine that's under development. We all know about the Hep B vaccine. We all know about the Hep B program to cure Hep B. So we have a lot of irons in the fire with VBIV. The Canadian government has been generous with giving grants to vaccine makers. And we're looking for that to occur, right, Alexa?
Yep. Yeah, and then we got the PDUFA for Hep B vaccine November, glioblastoma. Nothing's changed here fundamentally. The only thing that's changing is the price all the time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the glioblastoma program.
Yeah.
Clinical trial. We're in a little bit of a downswing, but I think we bottomed here at 307. It looks like a play. You could pick up some right now if you don't own it. Again, our opinions are strictly owned and do not constitute investment advice. Arjun, do you project this as a double in the next 8 to 12 months?
I do for sure. Yeah, on a longer term time frame, I like the convergence of this. If you look at it on maybe a 2-year, if you go to the weekly on a 2-year, I just like the higher lows, lower highs, convergence. It looks like something news based on this should come in November, I think.
It also reaffirms in my mind this bottom that was put in on 510.
Yeah.
So as being a good bottom.
This is one where I rarely look at the daily. I look at the weekly to remind myself that this is just slowly trickling up.
I mean, even if you own this long term and it goes back to this bottom of 240, 245, 250, I mean, you don't like to see that happen, but you buy more at that point in time, and you're hoping.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think the low will be 271. I think that was the last one.
But even in the worst case, it's not that bad.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, so I just wanted to look quickly at
Corvus.
Yeah, Corvus has been no news, jumping like a jelly bean. And that mostly in the up direction. We're now at 406. Look at this candle and look at the volume.
Crazy volume.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, but I must point out that it happened once before in 2020. You see a similar looking pattern.
This is going to pull back. I think this is going to pull back.
Well, look what happened back here. I don't know. There must have been news that day, unlike today. But today there's no news. The company denies any knowledge of anything. They deny knowing about there's any reason for the move up. But it's on huge volume. You want to get in on this, you want to get in on it on a little pullback to let's say to the 50, which is also about halfway down the candle. So the rule of thumb, if you want a piece of this based on this move today, based on this denial of all knowledge move, you're looking to get back in, you're looking to get in the low to mid threes.
Yep. Don't chase. I
had to point this out because it's an amazing move on no news.
Right.
IPHA, I think, is the other ticker in the bio world that's hot today.
Yep, this one had a crazy move up, but it's pulled back a lot.
I think I owned this one once. I think it's a cancer play. Don't own it now, unfortunately.
Multi-day runner. This is interesting.
Yeah, unlike what we just looked at, this one had news.
Can you go to the weekly? Oh, we're on the weekly. Never mind.
This is positive data. News is on positive. The move is on positive data. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, the daily might be okay.
So we gave back a lot. It was much higher.
Yeah, it opened. Oh wow, yeah. So it's already
to 1180. There's going to be strong support right at this high. Very strong support. So
yes.
get down there. You have your positive data. I think it was on phase 2 for lung cancer. So you have your positive data. It might be worth, again, buying at this level and holding. Buying at that 697 level and holding. $7, let's say. So it looks like it's heading back to that $7 level, maybe even less, but probably okay to own it.
Oh man, Manchin is really good news. He's listing what's going on there.
Yeah, so let's just go back and chat a little bit now.
Sounds good.
Corvus is surging in the morning hours after AstraZeneca announced favorable results. Results indicating the effect of CD73 blockade enhancing the anti-tumor activity, a positive read-through to Corvus pharmaceuticals. All right.
very nice.
Yeah. So a lot of positives with Corvus. Corvus and IPHA both interesting. So even though the company did not give specific reasons for the move, leave it to man to find out why. Linda, we want to welcome Linda to the show because without Linda, what could we do? Linda's been very busy with this.
Linda, are the other two babies home yet?
Linda's been very busy with the clients. Oh, Jiggly.
Yeah, it's a tortured soul we have here.
Jiggly, what's going on?
Jiggly, get in USEG. You'll be happy.
That's Arjan's favorite of the moment. That's the shiny object of the week. He was talking about the Saban right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so Omar took the Saban.
And this was the idea. Like, again, every reason to believe that Kamal is somebody worth following. he had the wherewithal to sell VBIV at 370.
Smart.
And we'll see what happens. Maybe he got back in since. Who even knows?
I think now's the time to get back in. Yeah.
Dan is talking Sava with Jiggly.
Yes, people are asking about Sava. I think Sava's just a wait and see for a little while.
Expressing a little humor.
But I'm not bailing any of it.
There's a little humorous tit for tat going back and forth.
Now, does anybody have an opinion about going off of the drug?
Wait, Professor Omos is
yeah, he liked the chart when you showed it.
He's reaffirming the GNPX.
As long as it doesn't break that bottom that you showed.
All right, so we're gonna end the show at the 1 hour mark. We probably went too far, too long. People always say they want timestamps. We watch the whole show. Because everything we have to say is important.
And the comments have a time. The comments have a timestamp.
The comments are extremely important.
You know what I'll do is from now on, what I'll do is I'll actually, when we get to the stock, I'll actually put it on the comments. So if anybody wants to jump to it, they can index it that way.
All right. Look, everybody have a great weekend. Thank all our viewers for being loyal to the show, and we're doing this for ourselves, but we're doing it for you also. Adios, amigos. Ciao.
Good weekend. Good football.
Have a good weekend. Go Steelers.